name is Christina, and today I am going to tell you what were my favorite books of 2014. So keep on watching if you want to know which books I read and were my favorite this year. I read a lot of fantastic books this year, and all that I really wanted to read, I read them, and I'm so happy. It was a very good year for me. I read so many books, and I just get on track with my TBR pile because it's enormous. It's enormous. So I think let's get started, and I'm going to tell you what books were my favorite this year. I think there are 14. The first one is like my favorite of favorites this year, so, but it's not really in particular order. I'm just like really saying because I love these books all. And without further ado, let's get started. So the first book that I have here, and I really enjoyed, it was just like the second book that I've read this year, and it was Champion by Marie Lu. This book was so amazing. It was the last book in the Legends trilogy, and I really enjoyed it. It was just kind of like bittersweet, you know, the ending was really kind of bittersweet, but I really liked it. It was just kind of like heart-wrenching. I was just like crying because the ending was just like how they were talking about, you know, Prodigy, and it was so good. I really loved Ju and Day together, and just they were such a kick-ass characters, you know. I really love them, and I'm gonna miss them so much. These books were so good. I really recommend it if you haven't already picked this series up. I don't know what you were doing because it's amazing. The next series that I've read this year were the PJO series, Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Riordan. These books were so fantastic. They always like made me smile. They were so funny and witty, and I just love Percy and Annabeth and Grover together. And these are the whole 5 books I read. I couldn't like pick just one because they were all amazing. Number 12 on this list. I didn't think that I would love this book, but I did, and it was The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I am not a Twilight fan. I hate that series so much. But I was very reluctant at first to pick it up because, you know, because of Twilight actually. But this book was very good. It was my first sci-fi read in a very long time, and I enjoyed it so much. I just really loved this book. I really enjoyed, you know, the premise of this and the plot. It was very good. I really loved that. I really loved this book so much, so it had to be on my list. The next book is my first new adult read, and I enjoyed it so much. I loved this book so much. I wouldn't pick any differently if I would just be reading it new adult for the first time. And that is 10 Tiny Breaths by K.A. Tucker. This book moved me so much. I think this book is not really for everyone. She's very like lost and broken. She doesn't really make contact with other people, you know, and just she's pushing them away, and then just like it's a very nice story of that. And if I haven't lost someone very important that I loved so much, I would never enjoy this book just as I did, and I would never love this book. It's for someone who lost someone they loved so much, and just it's about coping, you know, with that loss, and that's why I loved it so much, because I really connected with the character. I really think that if I just lost that someone, if I was 18 and 17, I would just do drugs and that. I really think that I would do just like her, but I was just 12 and I lost my dad. So it was a very touching story. So the next book, it's the book that everyone read and just like cried over so many times, and I just read it because the movie came out this year and I really wanted to read the book and then see the movie. And it's The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I read this book for the first time this year, and I was kind of very reluctant because it's about like cancer and that, but I just was very pleasantly surprised that it's not really about the cancer, and it's about just 2 kids, you know, with cancer, but they were just witty and funny and just didn't really like thought about their cancer that much. And I really sometimes I really forgot that they had cancer. It's just like, they're normal kids, they don't have cancer. But it's a very touching story, and I cried like a baby, even though I was kind of spoiled for the ending. I just had to be on my list because I read it for the first time this year, and I'm very glad that I did. This one was not really my favorite because I read the favorite one last year, and But this one I read this year and I really, really loved, and it's City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. This is my like second favorite in the series so far, and I just read 4 books of the Mortal Instruments series, and this one was very good. In this book, I liked every character. You know, I liked Alec and Simon in this one so much because I didn't like them in the previous 2. I was paying more attention to the other characters, and I just can't wait to finish the series next year. The next book is also by the same author, and it was the first book I read in 2014, and that is A Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Let me tell you, it was not a very good pick because I was a weeping mess while reading this book, and I can't wait to dive into Clockwork Prince like in a couple of weeks because I need to read that. But it's not gonna be my first of 2015. Like, no, I'm not gonna make that mistake again. I don't want to weep and cry in the beginning of this year. The 7th book on this list, it was a very good book. Like, I really enjoyed it, and it was so creepy and just so mysterious. And that's why I loved it so much. And that is The Unbecoming of DYER by Michelle Hodkin. I just read this one. I just read the first one. I don't know why I haven't read the second one yet. I don't know. Very mysterious and creepy, and I really loved that. The number 6 on this list is also kind of predictable, but it's just the cutest contemporary ever that I've read this year, and that is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I love this book. It was so good, but it also had, you know, what I really loved about it is that it had a twist in the end. I didn't really expected that to happen, but that's just why I loved it so much. I love Anna and Sinclair together, and just they're so cute. I can't wait to read it someday soon because it's just so cute and just so good. So, number 5 on this list. This book is very good. It was the last book in a series, and I am gonna miss this series so much, and these characters, and especially one character in this, and it's Ignite Me by Tahereh Mafi. Ignite Me was so good. It was freaking good. It was my favorite in the series, and it was a great conclusion. Even though I want like more out of this world, I want more, and I was like, I know that this is the last book. It just makes me so frustrated. I loved Warner and Juliet together. They were kind of dynamic, and Kenji, and just, oh god, I really love these characters, and I'm gonna miss them so much. I'm gonna miss Warner so much because he's so freaking hot. So the 4th book on my favorites list for 2014 was The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I knew I'm gonna love this book, and I did love it because it was so good. I was just like anxious the whole year. I was anxious to read this, and I finally did like 2 months ago, and I just love this one. I can't wait to dive into Never Fade. The ending of this book just killed me, you know. I love this world, and I love Ruby. She's so good. She's such a strong heroine, and she has these powers, and she doesn't really know how to control them, and I just really love that. Just, she's very, like, out of control, but then in the end, she just kind of, like, takes stand and just, like, does something that just infuriated me and hurt me so much. But she had to do it. The book that I loved, and is on the 3rd place, is The 5th Wave by Bracken. I loved this book. It was so good, and I missed sci-fi and just like these creepy things, and it was so good. It keeps you like going, and just like it keeps you wanting more, and just the twist in the end, you just want to know more. And this book is just always something was always happening there, and I just really love that dynamic in there. So it had to be on my list, you know, top 3. So the book that I'm going to show you now is the second one, and my second favorite this year. It's Angel Fall by Suzanne E. This book is just so good. It's action-packed, and it's mysterious, it's creepy, it's gross. You know, you think that angels are just good and just they don't harm people, but in this book, everything goes down in this freaking book. I love this one. These angels are warriors. They kill people. They just won an apocalypse, and just they want to wipe us out. The main protagonist in this one is Penguin. She's kick-ass. She's so good. And these little wings are Raffi's wings. And I love Raffi and Penguin together, even though it's just forbidden, but I don't care. They are meant to be together because they're so good for each other. Like, oh god. And I love this premise of this book. It's so creepy. It's gross. These creatures that are there are just so freaking gross. They're so gross. Like, you think that's just like, huh, my little wings. Like, it's gonna be like, not for me. It's gonna be too soft because they're angels. But no, you just got it all wrong, because this book, it's so dark and action-packed and gross and mysterious and crazy. This one is my favorite. World After is just like right after that, and I just can't wait for the third book, End of Days. I can't wait for that one. It's gonna be so good. The top one book that I've enjoyed this year so much. If you watched my previous videos on this channel, you know I'm obsessed with this series. And it's my favorite of all time. I couldn't pick just one book out of this series because I read them all this year. And I love them all. I love them all. And that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. You all know that it was coming if you've been watching my channel. These books are my favorite. I can't express how much I love this world and the characters and everything in it. If I really had to pick my favorite of these four, it has to be Crown of Midnight. Like, Crown of Midnight was very, very good. That was just full of emotions and full of crazy stuff happening and heartbreaking and heart-wrenching moments. I don't know what else I could say about this. I love it so much. These were my favorite books of this year of 2014. And I can't wait for the next 3 years to be exploring this world and just to get to know the characters even more. So these were my favorite books of 2014. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more of me, and let me know in the comments below if you read any of these books and what were your favorites this year. I would really like to know. Follow me on Twitter and Goodreads. I will link all these down below so you can check them out. I wish you all happy new reading year, and I wish you all a happy new year and everything's good in the world in the next year to come, 2015. So I hope you enjoyed this video.